Hi everyone, it's Sorkin. Today we have a problem when we are given a 4 integer arrays, nums1, nums2, nums3, and nums4, and all with the same length n. And we need to return number of tuples such that the number of sum of the elements from each array is equals to 0. For example, in this case, let's say that we have nums1, 2, minus 1, 2, nums2, nums3 equals to minus 1, 2, and so on. And the tuples that is giving us 0 is if we will take the 0 element from the first, 0 element from the second, and the 0 from third, and the first element from the second, from the last one, and we are given in a sum, we are giving 0 and 0 here. So how we can solve this problem? There are a number of ways how we can solve this problem, but the easiest and the most efficient, meaning that the time complexity being the lowest, is when with the quadratic time complexity n square is when we would use a hash map. How we are going to use exactly a hash map? So we are going to separate this problem into two sub-problems. So let's first take this half part, right? So the first half is that we are going to go over these two arrays. And what we are going to do, we are going to calculate the all possible sums. So what are the all possible sums here? So for example, let's go for the 1. For the 1 plus minus 2 gives us minus 1. So minus 1 is repeated once, right? And also 1 plus minus 1 gives us what? Gives us 0. 0 is repeated once. Let's go to the next one. Next one is 2. 2 plus minus 2 gives us 0, so which means that the sum of 0 is repeated once, right? Sum of 0 is repeated once. So we are updating this value to 2. And the next one is 2 plus minus 1 gives us minus 1, so sum of minus 2 we have twice. So we are counting only, right? Sum of minus 1 we have twice, and the 0 we have also twice. So now let's go to the next second half. For the second half, we are doing exactly the same. We are going and calculating every possible sum, and we are finding the negative of that sum, opposite of that sum in our hash map. So what does that mean? So for example, in this case, the sum is equals to minus 1 and 0. It equals to what? It equals to minus 1. What it means? It means that we need to, in order to make it 0, we need to have in our hash map in the first half, right? We need to have 1. So we need to have plus 1. Does 1 exist in our hash map? No, it does not. So let's go and for the next one. So next one is minus 1, and minus 1 plus 2 gives us what? Gives us 1, right? Gives us 1, and we need to find what? Minus 1 in our hash map. So we have 1, and in order to make this 0, in order to make this one 0, right, we need to find the minus 1 in our hash map. In our hash map, minus 1, do we have minus 1 in our hash map? Yes, it equals to what? It equals to 2. So which means that our result, we have at least 2 tuples that would give us 0, right? Okay, now let's go to the next one. So 2 plus 0 gives us what? 2 plus 0 gives us 2, and we are looking now for minus 2 in our hash map. Do we have minus 2 in our hash map? No. And the last one is 2 plus 2 gives us what? Gives us 4, and now we are looking minus 4 in our hash map. Do we have minus 4 in our hash map? No. So our result is 2, which we are returning. First thing that we do here, we are creating a hash map where our key is our sum and the value how many times that sum is repeated. And now we are going over our nums1 and the nums2, and we are going to create a sum and for the nums1 and nums2, and then we are checking in our hash map. If that sum exists, then if it does not exist, then we are setting a value to just 0 plus 1 to just 1. If it exists, then we are just incrementing the value. Let's say that that sum we have had that earlier, so we are incrementing that sum. After we exit this loop, we have the sum of the first two elements in our hash map. And the next one is what we do. We are creating a count that we are going to return at the end. And now we are creating all possible combinations for the from nums 2 and the nums 3 for the sum. So we are taking a sum, and now we need to check that in our hash map, does that exist? Like let's say that our sum is equals to 1, so it means that we need to have -1 in order to make it 0. And now we are checking that does that exist in our hash map. If it exists, we are taking whatever times it's repeated. Let's say that we have here 1 and -1, right? -1, let's say the count is 2, so we are adding that to our total count. If it's not, then we are just adding a 0, and at the end we are returning a count. So our time complexity, as we have discussed earlier, it's n square, and it's the lowest time complexity that we can solve this problem. But again, we are using extra space here. In the worst case scenario, our space complexity will be, if let's say that all combinations are unique, then our space complexity in that case will be n squared also. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you like my content. If you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel. See you next time. Bye.